Welcome back to Global Technology Options. In my previous video, I've delved into the world of containers and explored how Docker plays a crucial role in creating and managing them. Today, we're going to address a fundamental question. Why do we need containers in software development? I've outlined some advantages, but let's dive deeper into the why. If you're enjoying our content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's jump into it. So, we now know what containers are, and we understand that Docker is the go-to tool for creating these containers. But here's the lingering question. Why do we need containers in the realm of software development? You might be thinking, sure, containers make sense for a picnic basket, keeping everything neat and organized. But how does this relate to software development? We have one simple question. Why would we want independent standardized application packages in software development? Well, for one, let's consider a common scenario in software development. If you have multiple projects on which you're working, then you might have clashing versions. Let's say one project uses Node.js version 8 for whatever reason, while another project uses the latest version of Node.js. The same scenario might happen with Python, PHP, or any other kind of project. Having these clashing versions can be a real headache. You're switching from project A to project B, and each one requires a different version of Node.js. For instance, project A needs Node version 12, and project B demands Node version 14.3. That means you have to uninstall version 12, install version 14, and vice versa every time you switch between projects. Switching becomes a big hassle, and let's be honest, it's no fun at all. But fear not. This is where Docker and containers come to the rescue. We lock our versions into containers, and each project gets its own container. So, when we switch projects, it's as simple as launching a different container. No need to uninstall and reinstall anything because everything is encapsulated within the container, not globally on our host machine. Docker allows us to isolate dependencies, libraries, and even the entire runtime environment for each project. It's like having a self-contained environment tailored specifically for that project. So, whether it's Node.js, Python, PHP, or any other technology, Docker helps us avoid version conflicts and makes the process of switching between projects a breeze. As you can see, working with containers in Docker significantly streamlines the development workflow. No more uninstalling and reinstalling dependencies, no more version conflicts, just smooth transitions between projects. This is another example of why Docker and containers. You've created a Node.js application with code that requires Node.js version 14.3 to run successfully. Now, imagine you have Node.js 14.3 installed on your local machine, where everything works seamlessly during development. But the challenge arises when it's time to deploy your application onto a remote server for the world to access. On that remote server, there's a possibility that the Node.js version differs. It could be an older version like 14.1, 12, or even 8. Suddenly, the code that worked flawlessly on your local environment encounters issues on the remote machine. Debugging this discrepancy can be time-consuming and frustrating. This is where having the same development environment in both local and production becomes invaluable. So, how do we achieve this consistency? Enter Docker, a tool widely used for containerization. One of the main use cases of Docker is addressing the challenge we just discussed. With container, you can lock a specific Node.js version into your container, ensuring that your code always runs with that exact version, regardless of the environment it's deployed to. Your application runs within a container, bringing its own isolated Node.js version and isolated tools. That's a wrap for today's video. If you found this helpful or if you're excited to learn more about Docker and containers, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for future updates. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.